In the early decades of the 14th century, northwestern Anatolia became the stage for a confrontation that would highlight the rise of a new power in the region. The Ottoman Principality, led by Osman Ghazi, faced the forces of the Byzantine Empire near the strategically vital city of Nicaea. This battle marked a decisive moment, demonstrating the growing effectiveness and resilience of Ottoman military organization against an imperial opponent. The Byzantine Empire, alarmed by Ottoman advances, had mobilized an army to relieve pressure on Nicaea and reassert control over the increasingly contested frontier. The imperial force was composed primarily of infantry, supplemented by mercenary units brought in to bolster numbers and skill. The strategy relied on maintaining a cohesive defensive line and advancing in concert with allied contingents from neighboring regions. Osman Ghazi, commanding the Ottoman forces, prepared his army for engagement with careful attention to terrain and tactical advantage. Ottoman troops, largely cavalry-based, emphasized mobility and rapid assault techniques that had proven effective in prior encounters. Scouts and informants provided intelligence on Byzantine movements, allowing Osman to anticipate enemy strategies and plan his offensive accordingly. As the two forces met near Nicaea, the disparity in composition became apparent. Byzantine infantry, disciplined but less flexible, faced an opponent capable of swift flanking maneuvers and sudden charges. Ottoman cavalry moved with precision, exploiting gaps in the enemy's formation and targeting vulnerable sections. The difference in mobility and coordination began to tip the scales in favor of Osman Ghazi's forces. The initial clashes set the tone for the engagement. Ottoman units probed the Byzantine lines, testing their resilience while avoiding prolonged exposure. Repeated skirmishes eroded the morale of the imperial troops, highlighting the limitations of relying heavily on infantry when facing a highly mobile opponent. The mercenary contingents, tasked with bolstering these formations, struggled to maintain cohesion under the sustained pressure. A turning point emerged when the mercenary troops, faced with relentless Ottoman assaults, began to falter. Panic spread through their ranks, undermining the broader defensive effort. Their retreat created openings that Ottoman cavalry quickly exploited. Osman Ghazi's forces concentrated attacks on the exposed flanks and rear positions, further destabilizing the Byzantine army. The psychological impact of this collapse was profound. Soldiers witnessing their comrades flee experienced a breakdown in morale, compounding the chaos on the battlefield. Byzantine commanders attempted to restore order, but the momentum of the Ottoman assault was overwhelming. Rapid cavalry charges and coordinated maneuvers left the imperial infantry unable to regroup effectively. By the height of the battle, Ottoman forces had gained control of key positions, encircling segments of the Byzantine army and forcing a general retreat. The engagement ended with a clear Ottoman victory, solidifying their growing dominance in the region. The triumph demonstrated not only the skill of Osman Ghazi as a commander, but also the effectiveness of a mobile, disciplined cavalry force against less flexible infantry formations. The consequences of the battle extended beyond immediate military outcomes. Byzantine control over the frontier was further weakened, limiting the empire's capacity to defend Nicaea and surrounding territories. The Ottoman victory enabled continued expansion into strategically important areas, consolidating control over key routes and settlements. Local populations, observing the outcome, increasingly aligned with the rising Ottoman authority, perceiving it as a stabilizing force amidst the instability of the frontier. Economic implications were also significant. Victory allowed Osman Ghazi to secure supply lines and facilitate the movement of goods and resources through newly controlled territories. Trade and agriculture, supported by a more secure environment, encouraged settlement and strengthened the economic foundation of the principality. These factors contributed to the sustainability of Ottoman expansion beyond immediate military success. The battle highlighted critical aspects of Ottoman leadership and strategy. Osman Ghazi's ability to coordinate cavalry effectively, exploit enemy weaknesses, and respond dynamically to battlefield developments illustrated a sophisticated understanding of warfare. This approach contrasted sharply with Byzantine reliance on conventional formations and static defenses, revealing structural limitations in the imperial military apparatus. Cultural and political ramifications followed as well. The victory reinforced Osman Ghazi's legitimacy and inspired loyalty among followers. Warriors and settlers were drawn to a leader demonstrating both courage and strategic insight. The success at Nicaea became a defining moment, enhancing the reputation of the Ottoman Principality and establishing a narrative of ascendant power that would shape subsequent campaigns. The engagement also underscored the importance of adaptability in military doctrine. Ottoman forces had repeatedly demonstrated an ability to learn from prior encounters, refining tactics to match the composition and strategies of their adversaries. The effective use of cavalry against infantry-heavy forces exemplified this adaptive approach, emphasizing mobility, speed, and coordination over sheer numbers. Byzantine forces, despite their experience and resources, faced limitations in responding to this new style of warfare. Communication challenges, reliance on mercenaries, and slower maneuverability hindered the ability to counter rapid Ottoman strikes. The defeat highlighted the declining influence of Byzantine power in the region and foreshadowed the empire's ongoing struggles against emerging Anatolian principalities. Following the battle, Osman Ghazi consolidated his gains, strengthening fortifications and extending administrative control over the newly secured territories. Settlements were encouraged and local governance structures were reinforced, ensuring that military success translated into lasting authority. The victory provided a foundation for subsequent operations and further expansion into Byzantine-held lands. The engagement near Nicaea demonstrated how tactical innovation, leadership, and adaptability could overcome challenges posed by a numerically or structurally different opponent. It represented a milestone in the early development of Ottoman military doctrine, emphasizing speed, coordination, and psychological advantage as critical factors in achieving victory. In the broader context of Anatolian history, the battle marked a turning point. It illustrated the erosion of Byzantine control over strategic frontier areas and the emergence of a new power capable of reshaping regional dynamics. Osman Ghazi's leadership, the effectiveness of his cavalry, and the disciplined execution of strategy collectively signaled the rise of the Ottoman Principality as a serious contender in the region. The engagement served as both a practical and symbolic achievement. Practically, it secured key routes and facilitated further territorial consolidation. Symbolically, it established the Ottoman Principality as a credible, rising power capable of challenging established empires. Local populations, observers, and neighboring states recognized the significance of this victory in the broader unfolding of regional politics. Subsequent campaigns built upon the lessons learned at Nicaea. The success reinforced the value of proactive strategy, rapid maneuver, and coordinated assaults. Osman Ghazi's approach became a model for future engagements, shaping the early trajectory of Ottoman expansion and governance. In conclusion, the battle near Nicaea, ending in a decisive Ottoman victory, marked a pivotal moment in the rise of a new state. It illustrated the effective combination of leadership, tactical innovation, and disciplined execution. The outcome reshaped regional power structures, weakened Byzantine influence, and reinforced the growing authority of Osman Ghazi. This engagement was more than a single military victory. It represented a turning point in the emergence of the Ottoman Principality as a lasting political and military force in Anatolia.